What's going on, everybody? I'm Joseph, your host for Daily Spoilers here on the MTG Thoughtcast channel. Today, we're talking about Outlaws of Thunder Junction. It's day 2. We're talking about a CEDH card, we're talking about a legacy card, and we're talking about a new commander that's going to be making some modal waves. But before we get into any of that, down below me here is a subscribe button, a like button, comment button. All of those things help us out a ton. We're like 15 subscribers away from 100 right now, and we really want to hit that soon. So it would make the world of a difference if you guys would give us a subscribe and hit all the buttons to give us some good interaction. Also, if you want to join in all of the discussion about the other cards from Thunder Junction that we maybe aren't talking about today, or get some deck advice, go ahead and join our Discord. The link's right below. It's totally free. We'd love to see you there. But let's go ahead and dive into Day 2's spoilers for Outlaws of Thunder Junction. First card we're talking about today is the aforementioned Legacy card. So this is going to be a huge Death and Taxes staple. This is Aven Interrupter. It's 1 white and a white for a 2/2 bird rogue with flash and flying. When it enters the battlefield, exile target spell, it becomes plotted, and spells your opponents cast from graveyards or from exile cost 2 more to cast. This is huge. So first of all, in white, being able to stop a spell, because it becomes plotted, they're not going to be able to cast that spell until their next turn at least, and then it's going to cost them 2 mana because of the second ability. But even then, just that static ability of spells your opponents cast costing 2 or more is going to stop a lot of things in Legacy. Anything with Lion's Eye Diamond, anything that's trying to like breach decks are going to be completely hosed by this. So this, so far, I think this is the most powerful card that I've seen from the spoilers. Granted, we're only on day 2, so they're really showing their cards with the metaphorically and literally with the power level of this set. It's looking like it's going to be very strong if Aven Interrupter is any indicator for us. Moving on, this is a commander that our Discord has been very excited about since it got shown today. This is Riku of the Many Paths. It's green, blue, and red for a 3/3 human wizard with whenever you cast a modal spell, choose up to X, where X is the number of times you chose a mode for that spell. Exile the top card of your library until the end of your turn you may play it. Until the end of your next turn you may play it. Or put a +1/+1 counter on Riku against trample, or make a 1/1 bird token with flying. So modal spells are anything that say choose 1, have a couple options on them, and you choose 1 or choose 2 or choose 1 or more, any of those. So a couple of these, they're going to be really, really good with Riku. Flame of Anor is 1 blue and a red for an instant that says choose 1. If you control a wizard, choose 2 instead. So going back to Riku, you're going to be able to make a bird and impulse draw until your next turn by playing Flame of Anor and destroying an artifact and dealing 5 damage to something. So this is going to be a highly interactive deck with so many different options to choose from. Some other things that are good with him, I found Clan Defiance this morning, which for X equals 0 is red, green, choose 1 or more. So for red and a green, even if you choose 0 for it, you get to trigger all 3 of Riku's effects. And then something like a Sublime Epiphany, which is 6 mana for choose 5 different modes. Unfortunately, with Riku, you're not able to choose the same mode more than once, so his max value is all 3 of them. But Sublime Epiphany is going to get you there a lot of the time. You could play this with a bunch of charms or things like that, escalate spells, entwine spells, but what I'm really looking for is spells that give me max value on Riku for as cheap as possible. So yeah, that's Riku. I think I'm probably going to build this deck. I think Jared is talking about building this deck as well. So again, if you jump in the Discord, we're talking about this one all day for sure. Next up, we have High Noon, which is 1 and a white for an enchantment that says each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. That's just rule of law for 1 cheaper. And then for 4 and a red, it says sacrifice High Noon. It deals 5 damage to any target. So what's great about this is in a deck like Winota in CDH, you're going to be able to play your rule of law, which that deck is already playing, for 1 cheaper. And then when you need to cast more spells on your, last opponent's end step, you could just pay 5, stack the High Noon, deal 5 to something, and then you have access to everything. So this is one of my favorite type of stacks pieces, and it's one that you kind of get around. It's like playing Trinisphere in an Urza CEDH deck, where you just get to tap it whenever you want. High Noon kind of feels that way to me. The Boros color identity is going to hold it back on what decks can play it. But again, again, things like Winota or Zirda the Dawnbreaker, like all of those are going to be super, super good with High Noon. We have Bovine Intervention as our next card. It's 1 and a white. It's very simple. It's an instant at uncommon that says destroy target artifact or creature. Its controller creates a 2/2 white ox creature token. This is Swords to Cowshares. Moving on. Colossal Rattleworm is gonna rattle standard for sure. It's 2 green and green for a 6/5 with trample that sometimes has flash if you have a desert. There's 0 downside on this. What's going on, Wizards? Yeah, you heard it right. It's a 4 mana 6/5 with trample. And oh, what's that last line of text? Is it downside? Nope. It says 1 and a green, exile Colossal Rattleworm from your graveyard, search your library for a desert card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. It's just rampant growth for a desert from the graveyard. I don't know what crack they're smoking with this, where like in what world is a 4 mana 6/5 with trample and 0 downside like totally fine? I'm gonna lose to this a ton in standard. Moving on, we have one that I missed from yesterday actually. We have Gisa the Hellraiser at 5 mana. It's a 4/4 legendary human warlock with ward 2 and pay 2 life. Skeletons and zombies you control get +1/+1 and have menace, and whenever you commit a crime, you create 2 tapped 2/2 black and blue zombie rogue creature tokens. This ability triggers only once each turn. So they're trying to hamper you with this. I think this is going to be a really cool commander as well for like a mono black aristocrats deck. Immediately what I think of to commit crimes really easily is Blood Artist. So Blood Artist has an ability that is going to target an opponent of yours. So if you have out Gisa, Blood Artist, and a sack outlet, on every one of your opponent's turns, you can just sack one of the zombies to target your opponent with Blood Artist, which will then make you 2 tapped zombies. Gisa seems really cool. I know there was at least one person on our Discord who was pretty excited about this in their standard zombies deck. So who knows if that's going to make any splash there, but Gisa is a mythic and seems like it's going to be a good one. Moving on from Gisa, we have Satoru the Infiltrator. It's blue and a black for 2/3 legendary creature, because apparently this is Commander Legends Outlaw of Thunder Junction. We have a human ninja rogue with menace. It's a 2/3 with menace. Whenever it and or one or more other non-token creatures enters the battlefield under your control, if none of them were cast or no mana was spent to cast them, draw a card. So basically, if you ninjutsu something in, because it wasn't cast, you're gonna draw a card from it. Or if you blink something with Displacer Kitten and it comes in and wasn't cast, you get to draw a card from it. Or if you play something like an Ornithopter, which costs 0, that also fits his bill here for allowing you to draw a card because you didn't spend any mana to cast it. So in any type of blink deck that's using Thassa or anything like Displacer Kitten that's planning on blinking a lot of creatures in and out, you're just going to draw a ton of cards off of Satoru. This is not a once per turn trigger, so they've given us a little bit of leeway here and allowed us to have some fun with Satoru the Infiltrator. Moving on from that, we have our wording for what Outlaws are as a group of classes in the set. So Double Down is a mythic. It's a 4 mana enchantment that says whenever you cast an Outlaw spell, copy that spell. And it says here that Outlaws are assassins, mercenaries, pirates, rogues, and warlocks. So all 5 of those fit into a new class of Outlaws. And then it gives some reassurance that copies of permanent spells become tokens. So anytime that you would cast any one of these things, you'd make a token copy of it. Notably, Assassins is cool because the set after this is, or coming up soon, is Assassin's Creed Universes Beyond. So I could see this being maybe a finance spec if you want to pick this up and, you know, double on all of your assassins and all of your Ezio's and a coming up set. We have a reprint at Mythic of Archangel of Tithes. So here's the art for it from Thunder Junction. This was spoiled over in one of the Asian countries. And then here is the card from Magic Origins. So it's 4 mana for a 3/5. As long as it's untapped, Creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless they pay 1 for each of those creatures, and then as long as it's attacking, they can't block your creatures unless they pay 1 for each of them. So both of those effects very powerful. You can kind of pick and choose as you're attacking with the angel or blocking with the angel. Moving on from Archangel of Ties, we have one that's near and dear to my heart. This is Marchesa, Dealer of Death. Marchesa the Black Rose was my first commander deck. So Marchesa, Dealer of Death is 3 mana for a 3/4 human rogue. Whenever you commit a crime, you may pay 1. If you do, look at the top 2 cards of your library, 1 to hand, other to the graveyard. So again, targeting opponents, anything they control, and or cards in their graveyard is a crime. So as you're playing things like your Thoughtseizes, like your Lightning Bolts, all of these, you just pay 1 extra, and you're going to get to draw the best of the top 2 cards off of the top of your deck. Or fill your graveyard with things that you want to be putting in there. Marchesa seems like a really, really great control commander because you can target it. This works off of countering spells because you're targeting a spell that they control. So if you just keep playing counter spells, you're going to get to draw probably another counter spell. So Marchesa seems like she's going to be really powerful with very interactive strategies. Lastly, we're talking about Roxanne. This is Roxanne Starfall Savant. It's 3 red and a green for a cat druid legendary creature that's a 4/3 that says whenever she enters the battlefield or attacks, you make a tapped meteorite token that when it enters the battlefield deals 2 damage to any target and can tap to add a mana of any color. And then whenever you tap an artifact token for mana, add a mana of any type that artifact token produced. This is so cool. She's just making meteors that tap for all colors and are just going to keep shocking things as they come in. So this is, I want to make this work because it's unbelievable art. It's a cat druid. It sucks that it's a 4/3. Your 5/5 is gonna, or your 5 mana thing is gonna die to bolt. But at the end of the day, it's worth it to play Roxanne Starfall Savant. Shout out to MTG Goldfish for the translation. Guys, that's what we've got today for our daily spoilers. Let me get back to the full cam here. That's what we've got today. I feel like they're really, really cranking the power level of this set. It's a little crazy to me that so early in the spoiler season, they've revealed so many things that are already going to be making splashes in competitive formats. I feel like it's been a while since we've had a standard set that's really made a huge difference in things like Legacy or in CEDH. So yeah, I've been more and more excited the more that they're showing us cards. Let me know down below if I missed anything today or if I've got something totally wrong like I did yesterday about my dress down interaction. So yell at me down below if I've gotten something wrong here. Also, I'm going to be posting a deck list down below for Riku that I'm working on right now. So I will see you guys in our Discord, and I will see you tomorrow.